Greetings, greetings. This is Tanya Thompson with Working While Black, causing good trouble for justice and change. It's been a few days since I've reached out, and it's actually been a rough couple of days. Some of the things that I've been coming across on this journey has really been mind-blowing. So I think the last time I posted, I had shared about going to the legislators' offices. I went to visit Senator Smallwood Cuevas. She is the senator who authored SB 497. I went to visit my specific district representative, Senator Christopher Cabaldon. And I went to visit my assembly member, who is also the majority leader, Assembly Majority Leader Cecilia Aguiar Curry. I have not had any follow-up from Senator Smallwood's office. Senator Cabaldon's office, and I'm laughing because it is really crazy, the response I just got. I just got a response from Senator Cabaldon's office. His aide or somebody responded saying that SB 497 doesn't apply to state agencies. So the question that I ask is, are you telling me that the state of California is writing laws, signing laws, celebrating laws that support and protect employees in the state of California, with the exception of those who work for the state? So the state of California signed into law a bill that says everybody should be protected except for employees of the state of California. That just doesn't make sense to me. And it came from the senator's office. So I am like, my head is spinning. I mean, beyond. As a matter of fact, I looked up the bill and it says plain as day in the bottom of the text. It says this applies to public and private employers. So basically, I am getting told from a senator's office they are lying and saying that it doesn't apply. So I'm being dismissed, still no enforcement, and they're just making up stuff. It's no different than the Civil Rights Department deciding that a manager can file a EEO complaint against an employee, against a subordinate. Like, they are just making up whatever they want to make up, whenever they want to make it up. It is absurd, absolutely absurd. So my question is, if it doesn't apply to state or public employers, how on earth are public employees supposed to have their rights protected? Because the people who work in the Civil Rights Department are employees of the state. So they get to enforce protections for everybody else's rights except their own. None of this is making any sense to me. So the other thing I want to point out here is the level of coordination of denial and dismissal that I'm experiencing. It is absolutely out of this world. Today was extremely hard because it felt like, once again, every single door that I knock on is closed, is slammed shut in my face. And I can't understand for the life of me what I have done to these people to make them respond in these ways. From the gate, I don't get it. It is mind-blowing. So, a couple of things that I want to share I have a meeting with Cecilia Aguiar Curry's office tomorrow morning. I pray that I have a much better reception than I received from Cabaldon's office. I will share with y'all tomorrow as well what comes out of that meeting. So the other thing I wanted to do as I'm checking my notes, hold on a second. I wanted to also share that the definition, I wanted to give you guys a definition for retaliation. So retaliation is punishment for doing the right thing, meaning you filed a complaint, you spoke up, you reported discrimination or some other, wrongdoing or misconduct. Retaliation is punishment for doing the right thing. An adverse action is any punishment that makes your job harder. So if you got negative reviews, if you got any type of like you got excluded from meetings, that's one of the things that happened to me. I got excluded from meetings. They made training extremely difficult, things like that. An adverse action is anything that would make a reasonable employee discouraged from moving forward or filing complaints in the future. So that would be an adverse action. Anything that if it happened to someone else, someone reasonable, that person would be like dissuaded from coming forward. They would be like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want that to happen to me. I'ma just go with it. And the reality, what I'm learning, what I'm experiencing on this journey is that is exactly how that system was designed. They tell us to speak up. They tell us to report. They create these systems and these policies that they say are for us. We can file a grievance. We can file an EEO complaint. And don't get me started on the EEOC and the attacks that Donald Trump has made on diversity, equity, and inclusion. As much as I am trying not to go down the road that says this is happening because I'm Black, I really don't want to pull that card. But everything I keep seeing keeps pointing to this is happening to me because I'm Black. Because I can't figure anything else. It's not because I'm incompetent, because that's not the issue. It's not because I've done poor work. They have no documentation to support that. In fact, I have the contrary. I have documentation that supports that my work was outstanding. So I don't understand what it was that I did to these people to generate this type of animosity. I don't get it. I spoke up. I said, this isn't acceptable. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to tolerate it. Nevertheless, that's too much. I don't understand. So before I start rambling and getting onto a rant, because I'm so right there, I just want to pull it back. And again, if you are dealing with anything like this, please do not feel like you are alone. That is what they want you to feel. Do not feel you are alone. Please reach out, message, get in touch. I will be sharing on this journey. I will share some of the things that have kept me sane, some of the practices. I do yoga, I meditate. I'm also I do storyboards, things that help me stay focused on my future, where I'm going. So things to keep me grounded is the only reason I haven't lost my mind in dealing with this. One of the other things I do want to say before I sign off is the way this trauma is impacting my mental health, the potential that it has. Again, fortunately, I'm skilled, I'm resourced, I have capacity to handle a lot of this turmoil. Someone else probably would have cracked a long time ago. I was watching the news the other day about the guy who walked into a New York City office building. I think he had bought the assault rifle in Las Vegas, and he just went in there and he killed, I want to say it was 4 people. From what I'm experiencing, if I didn't have, one, if I didn't have so much to lose, and 2, if I didn't know what it was like to be in prison, considering I worked there for 12 years, there is a short line between me staying sane and me losing my mind, because these folks are flat out telling me, it's the gaslight. They're telling me what I'm experiencing is not real. They're telling me that I don't see what I'm seeing. So I'm not saying I condone it, like Chris Rock was saying about OJ. I'm not saying I condone it, but I do understand how people are walking into their jobs and killing people. I totally get it. I totally get it. Look, I'm from Richmond. Make of that what you want. But I can tell you, I have absolutely had thoughts of meeting some folks in the parking lot. But I know better. I know better. But if I didn't have the, I'm going to say the emotional regulation skills to allow me to express my anger in positive, healthy ways, like doing these videos, I absolutely probably would end up in some kind of prison or in a sane asylum, because the way the gaslight is working, like, I really sometimes feel like, am I going crazy? Have I lost my mind? So one of the things I want to say as I begin to close this out is, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. The next video I share, I'm going to share my sister's story, who experienced something similar, some racial discrimination in the workplace. So I'm going to talk about that, and just literally a little bit just about what it is to be a Black woman in the workplace, and more specifically, a Black woman in public service, because it seems to be really, really treacherous. And ironically, it is worse in California. I expected this kind of treatment when I was in Nevada. They called it the Mississippi of the West. But in California, I'm thinking I'm in liberal land, and we care about justice and equity, and we champion all of these causes. And here I am dealing with this again. Whew. I am Tanya Thompson, and this is Working While Black, causing good trouble for justice and change. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and more importantly, share. My goal is to get this video viral. All of them, any of them. As many people who have jobs in the state of California, they need to hear this, okay? Get this in the hands of anybody that you know that works for the state of California specifically. Again, because the senator's office told me that it doesn't apply to public employers. So public employers can retaliate against their employees at will, and they have no accountability for such. So it is important that this information gets out to the people who are working for the state of California, because our rights don't matter. We need to get the word out. So again, like, subscribe, and definitely share. Get this message out. Get this message out. I'm putting together a couple of activities. Not activities, that's the wrong word. I'm putting together some events I'm planning some town halls if I can find my locations and things like that. So as those things come together, I will be sharing, looking for you all to come out, support, share the message, share the word, get people out, get people motivated and activated for this cause. This is more than about what I'm dealing with, y'all. Understand, if this flies, if we're not able to get some accountability for this law as it's applying in my case, this is a precedent-setting situation. So we need to really get this out. We need to get this message in front of the people who can make a difference. And I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about us, y'all, because we are the people who put these people in office. As a matter of fact, I voted for Cabaldon. I'm really disappointed in that choice. All right. I've been talking to y'all for 15 minutes. Thank you so much for giving me space. And again, like, subscribe, share. I'll see y'all tomorrow.